I want to share a concept, an analogy, a point in healing process, a specific point, but also an understanding which might help with your own self-healing. I have called it the healing point, but this one feels a bit more specific, a bit more details, and the word diamond came to mind. And after reading about the properties of diamonds, it kind of makes sense. But I've also heard this expression before, and I think the sacred geometry in itself, I think, would explain a bit more why, I don't know, that has come to mind. But if I say healing, the diamond healing point, okay, so this is very specific point in time, a quantic point in time, a shift point in time during the creation of trauma. And all creations of trauma comes from one reason: to protect our heart. Nothing else. That is the main reason for trauma to be created. And when trauma is created, other aspects comes out of it. Okay. Other aspects. So you have the aspect of coping mechanism, aspect of protection, I think. This is all. I think there's a few more things coming along as I explain the download ahead. Survival and moving on, because we got to move on. Okay, otherwise we would. And trauma creation, at the first trauma creation, we wouldn't be here. So when we need to protect our heart, there's a shift, there's a quantic point. And I call it the healing point because if we can go back there, we can heal it. And the diamond, what does the diamond do? A diamond doesn't, I think that's a diamond. A diamond doesn't shine the light through, okay? But it reflects out in different angles. If you think that we put a diamond around the heart, we are protecting the heart. That's protection. And that's the main core of trauma creation, trauma bonds. Yeah. And how I see it is, and how I saw it through my own experience. So you have a moment that you need help. You're a child, okay? You need help, you need assistance, you need fulfilling, you need guidance, you need support. You don't have it yourself yet. You need that. So you seek. So you get into a door and you seek. You knock on that door, and either that door doesn't open or it opens. Okay? If the door doesn't open because of neglect, abuse, loss, it's no different than if the door opens, but then you get there and there is an emotional unavailable parent or someone that doesn't understand what you need, cannot attune to what you need. Either way, we will create a shift right here. Okay, this is the shift. This is where coping mechanism is created for all the reasons here, you know, because the trauma has been created. There's coping mechanisms of protection, there's survival, so you can move on. A situation doesn't need to happen repetitively for this to be created. But if it does happen repetitively, it is forever happening all the time, this shift becomes stronger and also more protected by this diamond. Because the diamond will protect the shift, to protect the heart, and it's just going to start reflecting things out, projecting things out. So when you have this shift, the shift is if the door if the dot doesn't open, you don't get the fulfilling that you seek. You will turn around, perhaps, maybe into victimhood, attention, needing attention seeking, sometimes lack, anything. I think it could be anything. It doesn't have to be specific to this. If the dot opens, but the fulfillment is somewhat there, but conditional. This really isn't there. It never came through. This has come through, but it has come through conditional states. So a person who's not emotionally available, they fed you, but there wasn't, coming from a connection. It was coming from a chore, anything like that. Then it will. Sometimes a child might see their needs bigger than, see the person's need bigger than their own. Yeah. So this child will close and shift their needs and then try to fulfill the other person's needs. So this child can become a people pleaser, going beyond, over caring, over worrying. All sorts of things can come out of this. These are very dense and vibrational emotions, but they are somewhat different in their density. But there is a shift, and this is the shift I want to talk about. This is where you create a diamond. You create a diamond here to protect your heart. And it's all about to protect your heart. And as you protect your heart within that diamond, anything that comes back at you, it's not going to hit your heart. You're protecting your heart from getting hurt. But then it's coming out either in the lower densities, like lack, victimhood, seeking attention, or the not so lower densities, like people pleasing. And these are coping mechanisms, because the shift happened here. When you kept knocking on that door and you're not getting what you needed, what was, as a child, you need it. There's no other way around it. The child will find the coping mechanism, and that shift is the healing point. So for me, I went, I got the attention, of course, but I knew it wasn't coming from a fully emotional available parenting. So I saw their needs bigger than mine, and I became a people pleaser, going beyond of myself to help others. But I've also seen this play out. I've seen this play out with within prison environment. You know, I see them as children knocking on that door and not getting the care, the love, not getting it all. That door is shut for them. A lot of this shift here happens traumatically, very traumatically, when the child has a massive accident, maybe even a life-threatening, that really shook their system, really shocked their system. And they go into hospital, they get all the care, and they come back home, back into an environment of abuse, an environment of neglect, and their door is shut. And they know the care that they can get. And at home, they can get the care with the unconditional love, and they don't get it. And their healing is affected by this. You know, they have to shift themselves into a coping mechanism of something. And sometimes they will be in that victimhood, lack, seeking attention. And these where I've heard many times the saying, this is when everything changed for me. Yeah, that is the shift. That is the diamond healing point we need to get back to sometimes. And not all healing point will be like this. But can you imagine being a repetitive cycle happening to every need that you have, to every emotional need. Think of physical need. And think of mental need. Where is the supply for that? It's not coming in full unconditional love. It's not coming at all. We shift. And if you can go back to this point here, you can release it. Because what a diamond does, a diamond doesn't like, that's not a diamond. A diamond doesn't light shine through. Okay? So whatever is coming at you and you're trying to protect it, you're protecting your heart. So all your unconditional love is there intact, and you need to believe this. You don't want to believe that your heart is blocked, that there is a black layer over your heart, that your heart is broken. You don't want to believe any of that. You want to believe that your heart is shining inside this diamond, but the diamond cannot receive light within. The diamond cannot shine the light from within out. It can only reflect. So if things are coming from a high vibrational coping mechanism, yes, it's going to be reflected. If you come from a low vibrational, it's going to be reflecting. Well, how do we see it if it's not coming through for us to see it? And the shift is the diamond, this diamond lines protecting the heart. And we need to break these. So when these repetitive situations come through again, you can see through your heart for yourself, not for others, for yourself. You're going to see why you protected your heart. What coping mechanism were you created? What were you protecting from? What are you surviving from? And why you needed to move on, and how you were moving on. And I go back to this shift. There's a shift within you. This is energetic shift. Okay? It's energy. It's an energetic shift. We turn things around to protect us. Things come one way, we spin it around, and it comes out another way. And there is a sensation, there is a feeling that you will get. If you see this situation repeating itself through the conscious mind, you will notice a sensation in your body. When you are using that shift, that coping mechanism to protect, to survive, to move on, you will see, you will feel that shift. And when you go back in that shift, it will be profound. It will be profound. You will see the conditioning that you put yourself through to be able to protect your heart, survive, and move on. You will see the conditioning through your whole life up to now. As a child, how did you condition yourself from this shift? So the conditioning is a second part to it. Yeah? This is a huge point to get to. A huge point to get to. And I really hope all this goes inside you and makes sense. How can you get to this shift? You can get through voicing it to yourself. Your subconscious needs to hear it. You can do energy healing with intention to get that. You can ask questions to your guides, because we all have guides. You can ask questions to your heart, because your heart can answer. You can ask questions to your subconscious, because your subconscious can answer. And you can ask questions to the universe, because the universe will answer. And you need to be asking questions. Why do I react this way when this and this and this happens? And think about when the door doesn't open for some. Doesn't open at all. There's no door to knock, right? The abandonment issues that can come with it. You can also feel abandoned here, even though the door open and you get something. But for some children, or many children, all children, they have such a expensive concept of unconditional love that when that's not met, and this space is created between their unconditional love that they have to give and the unconditional love that they should be receiving, that gap is massive. It's overwhelming for a child, very overwhelming. So I ask you to take a deep breath now. Take a nice deep breath now. And just breathe into your heart and ask the questions. How can I understand and see the shift I've made to be able to cope when this and this and this and this happens to me? Ask your subconscious to show you your diamond healing point. What is protecting your heart from what? And what conditionings have I created to survive through this repetitive situation after I've learned to protect my heart? What is the conditioning I created? And how do I move on? Do I put it behind my back and ignore it? Do I push through it regardless? Is the moving on coming as I never stop? I'm always active. Even if I have a cold, I never stop. Is it coming from serving others before you serve yourself? Always, always available to others? Is that moving on coming from simply always wanting connections, but afraid, limited? You can create your own questions with your eyes closed, breathing through your heart, listening to your own questions through your own voice. And feeling the sensations that all these questions are bringing to you. Listening to your thoughts, picking up flash images, memories. When was the first time I can remember needing help and not getting the help and finding a way to shift away from it? When was that time? What comes to mind first? What memory, what image, what sensations? Is it fear of not receiving? Is it knowing there was no one there? Is it knowing that you're going to get food but you won't get the unconditional love with it? You're just going to get served. Is it through a loss? Is it through neglect? Is it through abuse, the violation of self? When was that first time you felt you needed help and you didn't get? Don't be afraid to speak out loud. Allow yourself to voice these fearing questions. Trust the universe is here. Trust your guides are here. Trust your heart is vibrant inside that diamond. It's only being protected. You did the right job. You absolutely did the right job with that shift to protect your heart. And there's nothing else you could have done. And you found ways, you found coping mechanisms and conditioning ways to move on because you're here today. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here to create traumas. We wouldn't allow ourselves to create trauma. We wouldn't be here. And what can you learn from this about yourself? Because that shift came from your own decision. That shift came from your own way of thinking. That shift came from your own interpretation. And what does that tell about you that you need to know right now? That you're a loving person and you put someone else's needs ahead of you? that all you needed was love, and when you didn't get, you didn't know where to go, you didn't know where to fall, and victimhood was the only way you knew. You can't blame yourself for that. You can't blame the other person for that. But you can find forgiveness for that version of you that didn't understand, that didn't have the resources to understand, that didn't have the conscious ability at the time, maybe because of the age, maybe because of what the environment was for you. And still, the environment, if it was created by somebody else, it was being playing out from their own shifts, from their own diamond point, that they don't know about it either. That environment was created by their own coping mechanism to move on, their conditioning to move on. They don't know why and how they're doing, but you're here trying to find your diamond healing point so you can free yourself from their diamond. Because all they were doing is protecting their heart as well, just like you did. And you can feel the forgiveness for that version of yourself. You can feel the forgiveness for that version of themselves, those people in your life that created this soup of conditioning for you to see how beautiful your heart still is inside that diamond. And you have the tool to break that diamond around your heart and release your heart, because it's intact, it's beautiful, it's full of light, it's full of life, it's full of laughter. It's been protected, you did the right thing. And if you found your shifts, just sit there for a little bit longer, feeling without fear, without guilt, without blame and shame. Feel it, for you did the right thing, for the right reasons, for the right time, for the right options, for the right resources. And expand the version of yourself now with this knowingness, with this knowledge, with this understanding. Expand yourself, expand your heart. Bring this diamond light in your heart. Shine your heart so much inside that diamond that diamond can only just break and break, so your heart light can shine through it into every cell of your body. And you feel it now. For your own heart, for your own love, for your own expansion. Don't be afraid. Feel it. It's yours. It's your love. It's the love you always wanted to feel when you knocked on that door. It's the love that you put away safe when you had to shift. You shifted around somewhere, but you're back now. You're back and you're sitting in your own love, and it feels weird. It feels overwhelming. It feels too much. But it's yours. You need to get used to it. Bring that love back to yourself, nobody else. Don't give it to anyone yet. That time will come when you have autonomy of that self-love. When you have autonomy of your own love energy. within your body, within your soul, within your heart, through your emotions, through your thoughts, and then you can share it. But spend some time and cherish and cultivate it, and allow yourself to feel comfortable, to feel it, to be yours, to break through the conditioning of giving it away to someone else, or dropping it down in the ground and sitting in victimhood. Allow yourself to keep it. You deserve it. It's yours. You broke the diamond. You deserve your love. It's here for you. Breathe into it. Breathe into your heart. Expand your heart. Send your heart light to your cells. Feel the goosebumps. Feel the energy flowing. Feel the energy stagnant. Feel the sensations uncomfortable, shifting and moving and lessening and alleviating. And dissipating and flowing away from your physical body, because you're allowing. This is allowing. You created movement in that shift. You created expansion in that shift, and you're moving it out of your body now. You'll be able to see. Allow your heart to glow. You'll be able to see. You'll be able to understand. You'll be able to break through. Be able to make a choice not to use that shift anymore. And that shift is now gone, being pulled away from your heart. All the bits of the diamonds being pulled away. It's a good diamond. Did a good job. You gave the diamond a good job. You're not getting rid of the diamond. You're only just letting it go to the universe. And now that the pieces of these diamonds that was protecting your heart is coming out of your heart into the universe, I want you to ask the universe to send back the fragments of your soul from every single situation you used this shift to protect your heart. And these fragments are coming back to your soul like puzzles being perfectly fitted into your soul. And as you receive this, you're feeling integrated, you're feeling complete, you're feeling full. It's like you're knocking on that door, looking for that fulfillment, and you're getting it. The shift isn't there anymore. You got the fulfillment. And if you can't feel that's whole yet, it's okay. There'll be trauma bonds to be shown to you for you to work through, just like this again. Just repeat the meditation. You're being fulfilled. Your inner child is knocking on that door, and you opening the door, and you're getting down on your knees, and you're giving that inner child exactly what she's asking or he's asking. Exactly. No different. Just as is asked. You can do that. That door behind you is dissolving now. The shift is being dissolved now. Allow the inner child to receive. Allow the adult one to give. Allow yourselves to feel and hug the fulfillment that you both created. Because as you create this fulfillment, you are erasing the trauma. You are erasing the trauma created. You are shifting timelines. What is that timeline you can create now? Is it more laughter? Is it more smiles? Is it more loving, more acceptance? Is it less control? Is it more self-love? Build up that timeline now, coming out of that fulfillment space between the inner child and the adult. Create a golden line of a timeline in front of you right now, and add in that timeline everything you want. Unconditional love, acceptance, self-worth, self-belief, faith, truth, love, smiles, laughter, giggling, loving moments, happy moments, funny moments, abundance of it all. And as you bring all this energy back to your heart, pull everything in like a vacuum. Pull everything into your heart like a vacuum. Back into your body, back into your physical body. Your physical body is feeling good now, it's feeling light. It's feeling connected, supported, loved, accepted. It's feeling whole, integrated, embodied with your soul. This is the feeling of embodiment with your soul. And you can open your eyes nice and gentle. And I love you. Sending love and light.